Welcome to NYCU EMI support video series for non-native English university students in Taiwan. I'm Tiffany. In this video, we'll explore a simple and crucial academic structure that can greatly assist you in your classes. It's called the structure of academics, or other names include the hamburger structure, three-part structure, IBC structure, and so on. It basically has three parts: an introduction, some bodies, and a conclusion, with some transitions in between to help you follow each part. This chart should help you visualize it, and we'll use this video as an example of how the structure applies. Let's get started. The structure starts with an introduction. Think of it as the starting point. Take this teaching video as an example. My introduction included the video series title, my name, and the basic outline of what this video will be about. Using a typical class and example, your teacher may start with a short preview, go through homework, or do a warm-up activity to get the class started. It's a short part to lay the foundation of what's coming next. Then you move to the bodies. The structure of a body includes a topic sentence, which introduces the main point or supporting ideas, following details, evidence, data, analysis, or explanations. This is the longest part and can be divided into many different parts. If you have one topic, you will have one part. If you have two different topics, you separate them into different parts. It's confusing when you merge all your ideas together, so it's important to know when to start a new part. Now to see how this teaching video fits the structure. There are actually 4 bodies in this video. The first body was the previous one where I talked about the introduction following some examples. The second body is this one. I'm trying to explain that a body is a topic sentence and supporting details. In the next body, you'll hear me talk about the conclusion, and in the last body, I'll briefly mention transitions. In your class, this is where the teacher introduces the content. Sometimes there may be a lecture to provide information following some discussions or exercises where you're expected to participate. This is the longest part, and unlike the intro or conclusion, which is only one part, you can have as many bodies as you need. Usually, the way to limit how many bodies you can have is by time limit or word count limit. Time limit means limited by time. For example, if the class is 90 minutes, the teacher will organize teaching and activities to fit the time limit and try not to go over time. In my teaching videos, I'm trying to control the time to less than 5 minutes per video, so I can only have about 3 to 5 bodies. Word count means how many total words you can have. A typical academic essay is 200 to 300 words with 2 to 3 bodies. Research papers are much longer, ranging from 4,000 to 10,000 words or even more, so you'll see a lot more bodies. Some other shorter writing tasks may actually just be one body without an introduction or conclusion, such as an email, which is typically 50 to 125 words, or an academic discussion around 100 to 150 words. Like I said, the body is the longest part of the structure and usually where all the important information is. Now we're moving on to the last structure, which is the conclusion. The purpose is to signal the end. It could be a summary or restating the most important parts. Using my video as an example, the conclusion will be the last minute where I'll wrap up everything and remind you to take the practice quiz. Similarly, when your class is ending, the teacher will end with a conclusion. It's the moment to tie the key concepts together. There may also be a Q&A or a reminder of your homework. Like the intro, it's just one part, but instead of starting everything, it's to make the end. In the last part, I'll briefly mention transitions. There's a lot going on in class, whether it's a 5-minute video like this one or a 2-hour class. So usually some transitions will be added for a smooth connection between parts and ideas. Can you identify some transitions that I used in this video? Let's get started. in this part, moving on. For example, the last part, cues like that. If your class has visual aids such as slides to divide the different parts, it's easier to follow. But when you don't have visual aids, such as a real-time class, you'll really need to listen carefully for those transition cues. Now I'm finally doing the conclusion of the video. This structure of academics may seem very basic, but it's often the backbone of what makes something logically easy for someone to understand. Let's review. You start with an introduction, then move on to the bodies, and end with a conclusion. And don't forget to be aware of the transitions that cue the different parts. That's it for today, and don't forget to scan the QR code or click the link under the description below for the practice. See you next time!